Today, we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of something we all experience, the weekday routine.
Yeah, we're looking at the structure, the blueprint almost, of modern life during the work week.
And we've got some fantastic source material for this. We have these really detailed accounts from three people, Jesse, Johnny, and Sarah, spelling out their entire day, basically from 6 in the morning till about 10:30 at night.
Right, and our goal here isn't just to list what they do. We're comparing them, looking side by side.
Exactly. We want to figure out, what are the common threads? What are the unavoidable parts of a modern schedule?
Like comparing Jesse's super early 6 a.m. start with Johnny and Sarah, who get up a bit later. What does that tell us about managing time, or even like the role coffee plays? It's huge.
It really is. And how tiny differences, like do you take the bus or do you drive? How does that actually change your day?
hmm And these routines, they aren't just random habits people picked up. They're often shaped by the demands of, well, typical office jobs, desk jobs.
Yeah, it's like a map showing how life gets organized around that 9 to 5 structure
Yeah.
or, 7:45 a.m. start in Jesse's case.
So we'll track the whole thing from that, 6 a.m. alarm clock for Jesse.
What she doesn't like.
No. And how technology kind of creeps in immediately, blurring the lines, all the way to that wind down time in the evening that seems like everyone absolutely needs.
That decompression period, totally essential.
And from an analysis point of view, these routines are great because they're packed with everyday actions, common verbs.
Like wake up, brush teeth, make coffee.
Exactly. It shows the sequence,
Yeah.
basic needs, then maybe some chemical help, hello coffee, then getting mentally ready, like washing your face to feel awake, and then boom, checking the phone even before you're properly out the door.
It's that mix of biology and job demands right from the start.
Perfectly put. It's a negotiation.
Okay, that sets the stage. Let's dive into that first, maybe toughest part of the day. Section 1, the dawn chorus, say 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Waking up, getting clean, and that technology trap.
Right, the technology trap. It snaps shut early.
So this first hour really shows how external forces, basically the job, control the schedule right away.
Yeah, the real issue isn't just waking up. It's being forced awake by an alarm for work.
And Jessie's case in point starts at 6 a.m. Not because she wants to. Nope. She explicitly says, and I'm paying this from the source, she doesn't like waking up early, but the job demands it.
That's crucial. Her entire morning is dictated by that clock end time. It means she loses an hour of sleep or just, a calmer start compared to Johnny and Sarah. They're up around 7.8.
That's the trade-off, isn't it? That hour difference echoes through the whole day.
It really does.
Yeah.
But interestingly, the struggle is kind of universal. Even Johnny, waking at 7 says it's tough. So 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., fighting that alarm seems to be a shared experience.
That temptation to hit snooze.
Oh, yeah. It's like this ritual battle against the work schedule. Kind of shows how the standard work week isn't really built around our natural sleep patterns, is it? It's built for productivity.
So if 7 feels early for Johnny, imagine Jessie at 6. She gets that earlier finish time later, sure, but she pays for it up front, every single morning, maybe building up sleep debt or just feeling rushed.
Precisely. Now, once they're actually out of bed, the next steps are surprisingly similar, almost automatic.
Get up, bathroom, brush teeth, wash face, standard stuff.
Right. And Jessie notes that washing her face is key to feeling more awake. It's a small thing, but it works, like a quick sensory jolt.
A little shock to the system.
Yeah, telling the brain, okay, transition time, sleep's over, gotta function now.
But then, almost instantly, two modern needs take over: coffee and connection.
Oh, coffee first. Absolutely non-negotiable for all three.
Right.
Jessie loves coffee, makes a cup straight away. Johnny, first thing. Sarah calls it a must.
It's not just taste, is it? It's functional.
Totally functional. It's the caffeine kick needed to get the brain going, especially when you've been dragged out of bed by an alarm.
And right alongside the coffee, the phone appears.
Yep, the technology trap. Jessie, while her coffee's brewing, is already looking at messages, emails, maybe social media.
Johnny checks messages and emails while he's drinking his coffee. Sarah checks news and messages.
See, this isn't just idle scrolling. They're dealing with work-related stuff, or at least work-adjacent communication, before they're even dressed properly sometimes.
It's like the workday starts creeping in earlier and earlier.
That's exactly it. Availability creep. The old morning routine, just getting yourself ready now, includes managing your digital presence, your work communications.
You're kind of already on the clock mentally.
Pretty much. Checking emails, messages. It's like doing a quick inventory for work before you even leave the house. It blurs that line between personal time and work time. You've basically started work psychologically 30-45 minutes early.
So the morning's less about prepping yourself, more about prepping your digital self for the day. And that efficiency seems to carry over into breakfast and getting dressed, too.
Definitely. Jesse keeps breakfast super simple. Toast, butter, jam, coffee, sometimes fruit. Quick fuel.
Sarah goes a bit healthier, yogurt, fruit, granola, sometimes toast. Johnny does toast and eggs or cereal.
The specifics vary slightly, but the goal's the same. Get energy in fast without too much thought or effort. Minimum decision-making.
And same for clothes. Jessie wears simple clothes, pants and a shirt, so she doesn't wear fancy clothes every day.
And Johnny and Sarah are similar. Comfort, simplicity.
It points to how casual office wear has become, maybe.
I think so.
Hmm.
Especially if your main job is staring at a screen. Spending loads of time and mental energy on a complicated outfit doesn't really help you perform better at that task.
Right. Save the brain power for the emails.
Exactly. Comfort and efficiency, that's the modern work uniform.
Okay, so that gets them out the door. Which brings us to the next big hurdle, the commute. Let's move into section 2, the journey and the workday structure. This covers, say, 7 a.m. through to about 4:30 p.m. and how they get to work. Huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. The commute is really revealing. It shows how things like, is there good public transport? Or are you forced to drive? How that shapes your time and even your stress levels before you even sit down at your desk.
Let's look at Jessie. She uses the bus, leaves at 7 a.m., gets to work around 7:30 after a 30-minute ride, starts her job at 7:45.
And the key thing is how she uses that bus time, passively, listening to music, podcasts. That 30 minutes, even though it's travel time, becomes kind of like reclaimed personal time, low stress.
Now, contrast that with the drivers. Johnny drives 25 minutes, says his office is a bit far, so driving's faster for him.
And Sarah has the shortest commute, just a 15-minute drive. Very efficient.
Okay, so let's break that down. Jessie's 30 minutes on the bus. Low mental effort. She can relax, listen to something. Johnny's 25 minutes driving. High mental effort. He's navigating, watching traffic, dealing with potential stress.
They have 25 minutes of active, demanding brain work before a whole day of likely more demanding brain work.
Right. So Johnny arrives, having already used up some mental fuel, maybe feeling a bit stressed from the drive. Jessie arrives, maybe the bus was a bit late, but probably more mentally relaxed.
Even if the time difference is only 5 minutes between Jesse's bus ride and Johnny's drive, the quality of that time is totally different. Sarah, with her quick 15-minute drive, she kind of minimizes both the time lost and the potential stress.
So it's this trade-off again. Driving might be quicker, but it costs you mentally. Public transport might be slower, but lets you zone out or catch up on a podcast.
It really highlights that work doesn't just start when you log in. For a driver, maybe it starts when you check the traffic app or turn the key in the ignition. The mental effort begins earlier.
Okay, so they arrive. Jessie at her office, Johnny and Sarah at their podcast studio, and what's the very first thing they all do?
Emails. Every single one. Check emails first, then organize the day's tasks.
Doesn't matter the job, it seems. Email is the gateway.
It confirms just how central digital communication is. Email isn't just for sending messages. It's like the jobs inbox, the task list, the priority setter. You start your day reacting to what landed there overnight.
And the sheer amount of screen time is massive for all of them. Jessie says she works on my computer for many hours. Johnny and Sarah. Same deal, a lot of computer work at the studio.
It just reinforces that so many jobs today, regardless of the field, revolve around interacting with the screen. The physical place might change, but the core action is often the same.
Staring at a screen, which makes that evening decompression we talked about even more critical. But first, the midpoint, lunch.
Yes, the lunch break, a crucial chance to reset.
Structure seems important here too. Jessie eats right at 12 noon, very precise. Johnny's a bit later, around 1 p.m.
That timing helps break up the day, manage energy. But what's in the lunch is interesting too, mostly practical.
Jessie usually brings her sandwich or salad. Johnny brings lunch or buys something nearby. Sarah also brings food or occasionally buys.
Bringing lunch comes up repeatedly. Saves money, healthier options. It seems like a deliberate efficiency move.
Although you could argue preparing that lunch the night before eats into your evening relaxation time, right? So it's efficient during the workday, but maybe not overall.
That's a fair point. It's another trade-off. But Jessie adds another layer, the social aspect. She eats with coworkers, mentions talking and laughing.
So it's not just about food, it's a social break, a mental break from work talk.
Exactly. It becomes this time for connection, for de-stressing through interaction, which is probably much more restorative than, say, eating a sandwich alone at your desk while scrolling through your phone.
Definitely. That intentional break with colleagues seems vital, forces you away from the screen for a bit.
And you need that break because the afternoon often brings more demands. Jesse keeps working, sometimes has meetings. Sarah confirms meetings too, pointing out especially online meetings these days.
Online meetings, yeah. Seems like they've become a fixture, maybe more so in the afternoons.
It often works out that way.
Mm.
People tend to save the morning for focused individual work, maybe the stuff that needs deep concentration. Then the afternoon becomes the time for check-ins, collaboration, team stuff.
But those meetings, especially online ones, can be draining.
Oh, absolutely. Synchronous meetings demand your full attention, high energy. They're necessary, but they definitely add to that end-of-day fatigue. They're often the most tiring part of the afternoon.
So the workday structure looks like intense focus in the morning, then more collaboration and reaction in the afternoon, with lunch as the pivot point.
That sums it up pretty well. And as that afternoon wears on, everyone's focus starts shifting towards getting out of there.
The finish line. Okay, section 3. The decompression zone and evening life. This is roughly 4:30 p.m. onwards till bedtime around 10 or 30. And finish times differ slightly.
Right, and those small differences matter for free time. Jesse, who started earliest, finishes earliest 4:30 p.m. She gets home by bus around 5:00.
Sarah's similar, 4.3 or 5.0 depending on the day. Johnny finishes latest, 5.0 or maybe 5.3.
So that extra half hour that Jesse gains by starting at 6 a.m., she gets it back here. It means she has the longest stretch of evening time before she needs to think about sleep.
That must feel like a win after that early alarm.
You'd think so. But what's really striking is, no matter when they get home, 5:00, 5:30, the very first thing they do is unwind.
Yeah, Jesse relaxes for a bit right away. Sofa, TV, reading, no jumping straight into chores.
And Johnny and Sarah do the same. Johnny changes into comfy clothes, sits on the sofa, maybe reads the news. Sarah puts on music, or just sits to unwind and decompress.
That change of clothes seems symbolic too, like shedding the workday.
It is. It's a physical cue. Signals to the brain, like, okay, performance mode off. And this isn't just being lazy. It's necessary. After hours of screen time, maybe a stressful commute, meetings, your brain needs a buffer, a low-stakes transition period.
The sofa as sanctuary.
Pretty much. It's
Cool.
mental self-preservation. You need that moment to just stop before engaging with the next set of tasks.
Which usually involves dinner. Jessie starts cooking around 6:30 p.m., and she says she likes to cook, tries new recipes.
That enjoyment factor is interesting. For people doing a lot of digital, maybe abstract work all day, cooking is very physical, tangible.
Right, you use your hands, your senses, you produce something real you can see and eat. A nice contrast to managing emails.
Exactly. And Johnny and Zara also cook around the same time, 6:00 or 7 p.m., and share that enjoyment. Though, realistically, they admit sometimes they just order food.
Yeah, the reality check. Depends on energy levels, I guess.
Always that negotiation between the ideal, nice home cook's meal and the reality of being tired after work.
And after dinner comes,
The inevitable.
washing the dishes, yes. All three mention it.
The great equalizer.
Hmm.
Seems mundane, but why is it significant here?
Because again, it's physical. It's grounding. After floating in the digital world, you're dealing with warm water, soap, scrubbing. It's a real-world task. It anchors the end of the meal, maybe the end of the main chores block, before pure leisure starts. Okay, so dishes done. Then it shifts fully to relaxation and connection. Jessie spends time with family movie, talking. Sometimes goes for a walk.
And we see that echoed by Johnny and Sarah. Similar activities. Family time, movies, reading, also going for a walk.
The walk comes up a few times. Seems like a popular choice.
Yeah, it's gentle exercise, gets you moving, maybe some fresh air, but it's not strenuous. It fits that winding down theme, not adding more stress, just easing into the evening.
It's about low-intensity unwinding at this point.
Exactly. And then comes the final phase, getting ready for bed, the pre-sleep ritual.
Jessie takes a shower, reads a book. Johnny and Sarah, same pattern. Shower, then reading or listening to an audiobook.
They explicitly say these things help them relax. It's intentional.
The shower, the reading, it's like a deliberate powering down sequence.
Yeah.
And crucially, it's screen-off time mostly.
Yes. Reading a physical book or listening to audio, it's lower stimulation than scrolling a phone or watching something bright. It lets the mind drift a bit, disengage from the day's intensity. The shower might help lower body temperature too, which signals sleepiness. It's all about preparing for rest.
Because rest is the ultimate goal here. They're all aiming for decent sleep. Jessie wants 7 or 8 hours, heads to bed around 10:30. Johnny and Sarah target that same 10:30 or 11 p.m. slot.
That consistency shows they understand how vital sleep is to just function the next day, to repeat the whole cycle.
Though for Jessie, hitting 8 hours means being asleep by 10 p.m., right? If she's up at 6. Her 10:30 bedtime suggests she's maybe closer to 7 or 7.5 hours consistently.
Could be. It reinforces that trade-off. That early start might always put a little pressure on her sleep duration.
It's the personal tweak within the larger shared structure.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. Section 4, synthesis. What really stands out isn't necessarily the specific things they do, but how incredibly similar the overall flow is.
Yeah, the core actions are almost identical. Coffee, emails, computer, dishes, unwind, read.
The variation comes down to, mostly, timing. When does the day start and end? And how do they bridge the gap between home and work the commute?
It gives us this vocabulary of the modern weekday, a set of verbs repeated across all accounts.
Wake up, get out of bed, brush teeth, make coffee.
Get dressed, eat breakfast, go to work, have lunch.
Finish work, go home, make dinner, wash dishes.
Take a shower, read a book, go to bed. It's a script.
It really is. And connecting the dots, the main difference between Jessie starting at 6 and the others starting at 7 boils down to how they allocate time between morning pressure and evening leisure.
Jessie gets more evening time, potentially from 5 p.m. onwards, but pays with that really early forced wake up.
It's that trade. Morning pain for evening gain. If you really value those evening hours, maybe that 6 a.m. alarm feels worth it. Or maybe it just feels necessary.
But it makes you think about that decompression phase. Everyone needs it, so.
So this raises a really interesting question, I think. Given that everyone feels this need to unwind after work, whether it's Jessie's walk or reading or listening to music like Sarah, what makes an activity truly effective at disconnecting? Is it just that it's low effort? Or is it the physical movement? Or maybe the key thing is just putting the phone down, getting away from the screen? What's the magic ingredient for recovery?
That's a great question. Really frames why leisure isn't just free time. It's necessary work in a way. Recovery work. So, to wrap up our deep dive today, the modern weekday looks highly standardized, built around digital work, powered by coffee, made efficient with things like packed lunches, and absolutely dependent on that crucial post-work decompression time.
A well-oiled but demanding machine.
Right. And Jessie mentioned her weekend routine is totally different, much more relaxed. So a final thought for you listening. How does deliberately changing your routine on the weekend, maybe stepping away from the structure, the digital demands, how does that actually impact how rested you feel?
Yeah, is 2 days of different enough to really reset from the other 5? Does it truly balance things out?
Something to think about as you navigate your own daily routine. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.